So I read recently that meeting, the chance for meeting someone who was in the space, it's like 1 to a million, and now we have the chance for meet this person, and this is Professor Harrison Schmittem, the American geologist, former NASA astronaut,
yes.
The person who took part in Apollo mission, and the last person who stepped the moon, who was in the moon. And we've got some questions for you. If you could answer it, it would be great. So first, do you remember that first moment when you started interested in geology?
No, I don't, because my father was a geologist. And so I think that that interest began at a very young age.
Okay.
And when you went to the university, you were like, okay, geology is my thing, or was it just your father encouraged you, and it was like?
No, actually, when I went to Caltech, California Institute of Technology, thought I was going to be the world's greatest physicist, and I found out very quickly that the world's greatest physicists were already there. And so it was very easy for me to move into geology.
Mm-hmm. And when you moved to geology, was it like straight away to this planetary science, or was it just it happened that you got interested in moon stuff?
I was a hard rock geologist. I was a metamorphic pathologist. That's what I became and did my PhD work on eclogites in Norway, high pressure, high temperature rocks in Norway. And it wasn't until NASA asked for applications from scientists for the scientist astronaut program, that was the Group 4 selection of astronauts, that I even thought seriously about it, raised my hand, said, sure, that sounds like a great idea.
It sounds like a dream story, not only a great idea. And maybe Anya?
Yes, during your study, did you belong to any scientific group? Were you involved in any projects, scientific projects?
Well, during my academic career?
Yes.
Well, yes, I spent a lot of time as a field geologist on various projects, working for the U.S. Geological Survey, and also the Norwegian Geological Survey. So yes, I stayed very deeply involved throughout.
You were active. Yes.
You have to be active, or you're not going to go anywhere.
Okay, and how did your adventure with NASA start?
Well, it started with really with the launch of Sputnik, and I became interested, as most students of that time did, in spaceflight because of Sputnik. And so and then I needed to find a job after my PhD work, and I looked around, and Eugene Shoemaker, the famous planetologist, was looking for employees, and so I began working with him. And it was during that time that NASA asked for applications for science. Now, I've always been active in geology clubs. From Geology Club at Caltech, I started one at Harvard, PhD. And so, you just have to stay involved in everything. And the broader your experience, the better.
And maybe some word about perspective, because I don't know, maybe some students of geology think about our field as it has limits of our planet, of the furthest outcrop we went to, but here are you that you took samples from moon, so it's really universal, and I don't know if it was some change of perspective when you stepped on the moon and you thought like, okay, it's our thing, we can prospect it, we can learn a lot of things like this. or it was like you knew it beforehand?
Well, I think my perspective about the science of the moon began when I began to working for Eugene Shoemaker's map a quadrangle of the moon. Coincidentally, it was the Copernicus quadrangle. Eugene Shoemaker had started that, but he had not finished it, and my assignment was to finish the map along with Newell Trask and Shoemaker, and we published that map of the Copernicus quadrangle. That I think that opened my eyes to what the potential might be, and I would be hard put to identify someplace before that where I really started to think seriously about planetary geology. Now, of course, today geology, geological interpretations are being used even for the analysis of the images of Pluto. There really are no limits to where geology has to play a role in understanding planets, small planets, big planets, and anything.
So you said you were a metamorphic geologist, and then you go to the geologic cartography. So it's really different fields, I think.
Well, but it's they all use the same basic principles.
Yeah.
And field geology was really my thing. I think that's the important thing. It doesn't make a lot of difference what kind of rocks you're mapping, as long as you apply good observational technique, photographic techniques, and sampling techniques, and that's field geology. There are a lot of geologists, geochemists, geophysicists that forget that field geology is the fundamental basis for our science, and I think it's very important to have a training center like this where field geology is emphasized.
Yeah, I think also without the field geology we've got no material to work on. So
exactly.
Go to the field.
Exactly.
Okay, I think
the last question for me. What was your first feeling when you made your first step on the moon, on the other world?
Well, you don't have a lot of time to have feeling. You think about it more afterwards than think, because you're trying to make sure that you spend all the time you have wisely. And as time is relentless when you're in space, Newtonian physics controls what you do, and that so you get very focused, I think, on making sure that you get the job done, and then you begin to think about it more later. I'm still doing it 43 years later, writing papers on lunar geology and trying to interpret the geology of Taurus Littrow in light of new information coming from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, the so-called mineralogy mapper that flew on the Indian satellite Chandrayaan. And there's a radar system that's flown. All of them are providing new information and helping to interpret the field geological results.
Okay.
Okay, I think we were really grateful for this interview, and
thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Well, thank you. My pleasure. Yeah, thank you for the interview.
Thanks.
Great. Thanks.